Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Natural Cycle, a channel where we attempt to solidify the absolute. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you tuning us in. I'm your host, Trail Talk Nick. Today's show, Narcissistic Staged Myth Management. Narcissistic Staged Myth Management has 4 parts today in the talk. Part 1, stage a myth, manage a situation. Part 2, blame creation and the mythical adversary. Part 3, invalidation. Flying monkeys assemble in the cult of the self. The final part, part 4, subjective dissolution of reality only dissolves the subjective. Stage a myth, manage a situation. Part 1. Once the narcissist has targeted you, they will generally slander your character. They want to create a myth about you or the person they're targeting and the situations around them. This is an advantageous effort in the narcissist emotional regulations and feelings of supremacy. It also helps them manage their peers in their social group to amass themselves constantly as the superior. Once the myth is staged, the situation around them becomes managed. This system enables a constant flow of emotional regulation for the narcissist. Part 2, blame shifting and the mythical adversary. Narcissists need scapegoats and adversaries to validate themselves. Transferring their gross feelings of shame as blame onto the target is a mechanism of their disorder. Myths create adversaries and new targets for their supply in their emotional regulation. The narcissist gloms on and creates mythical adversaries wherever they go. Part 3, the invalidation game. Flying monkeys assemble in the cult of the self. Narcissists will seek individuals in their social group with similar psychological behavioral patterns. When they find individuals with whom they identify, they will use them in a codependency to regulate their emotions and feelings of supremacy. Mythical adversaries work well in this way. Once the flying monkeys are alerted of the mythical adversary by the narcissist, they will all work cooperatively and codependently to invalidate their target and gain supply for the group of narcissists. This ritualistic group invalidation helps the group gain supply and validate themselves as the superior. Part 4. Subjective dissolution of reality only dissolves the subjective. So the myth is framed into reality as truth by the narcissist. They use that myth to invalidate an adversary. That invalidation in turn validates them. The effort is based in objectifying the target via subjective myths in reality. Subjective dissolution can only affect the subject and not the object. It may have subtle, tangible effects on the immediate, superficial, apparent reality, but its subjective nature does not hold up to the abject, solidified absolute. As the target sows his own resolute absolution into objective, ultimate reality, the superficial, mundane, and its strata of subjective nature will wane and tide. Ultimate reality clarifies all beyond subjective dissolution. Natural cycle. This is Trail Talk Nick. So I'm going to go over each part now a little bit. Stage a myth, manage a situation. This is a technique. This is what they do. These myths enable, as I was stating here, emotional regulations, feelings of supremacy, and it controls the social group around them. So the narcissist not only wants to control individuals, but reality itself. That's how narcissistic they are. Part 2, blame shifting and the mythical adversary. So the adversary in the myth, perfect scapegoat to not only have an emotional regulator, but to use to bring yourself up on. It's almost the narcissist becoming a politician now. Not a good politician, but a bad one there, and it's a technique the narcissist uses as well. So now they've staged the myth, and now they're blame shifting. And if you want to go into the pathology of this, the original need to blame shift comes from the gross feelings of shame felt by the narcissist. A shame manifest by gross feelings of inadequacy. Inadequacy originating from their narcissistic personality disorder. their inability to become outclassed or one-upped in their ideal of themselves. It's a shame mechanism like no other. So when you have this idea of constantly being superior to people, for whatever reason, in that narcissistic complex, there's a lot of guilt and shame in all that. And so that's the pathology there, folks. And, the narcissist loves to shift blame, and in their lack of accountability, which accountability is the opposite of blame shifting or denial, they're going to do stuff like that. So, part 3, the invalidation game, flying monkeys, a symbol in the cult of the self. So the cult of the self is, they're all partaking in this activity of assembling in the myth and the adversary and the management for the intrinsic interest of their selves. And the group is an extension of that to stratify their power node in reality. So they all pump into it there. And it's an invalidation game. As they invalidate their target, the mythical adversary, they become valid. So, part 4, subjective dissolution of reality only dissolves the subjective. The objective and the object remain the same. Resolute objection of reality clarifies subjections. Ultimate reality clarifies all beyond subjective dissolution. The illusion insists that staying subjective ensures your objectivity, but actually, in all actuality, only ultimate reality clarifies all beyond subjective dissolution. So, that's the cure here. You need to stay objective with this whole situation. And positive, obviously. I could do a whole nother video on that situation. Okay. Today's talk: narcissistic staged myth management. These are their aesthetics of predomination. We are broadcasting from the Sky Church on Saturn's rings. Thank you very much. Oblations to the flame. That concludes today's talk. Thanks so much for watching. If you would like, please give a thumbs up. You can show your support to the Natural Cycle by visiting the online store, or you can go to the links listed in the description and make a donation. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, I'm Trail Talk Nick. Thank you for watching The Natural Cycle.